Welcome, Solara here. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm here to give you a reading. I have no strategy. I'm just going to see what comes out. Welcome if you're joining me over from TikTok. You're so welcome here. Welcome to my new subscribers. If you're vibing with my content, please make sure to hit the like and to subscribe. This is how we get videos out and circulating. So I'm going into the Sacred Traveler's Journey deck to begin with. Please only ever take what resonates. Leave behind the rest, okay? My readings are here to empower and to help to confirm and affirm what you already are intuitively perceiving for yourself, okay? Traveling lightly, simplify your life. It may be a time for some of you to let certain things, energies go. It's a really good time to do that. We are about 12 hours out from the full moon in Gemini, and this is a big one. It's the last full moon of the year. And it's in the sign that has had a lot of energies concerned with 2022, in the sense that 2022, when you break it down, numerologically speaking, it breaks down to a 6, which of course is the Gemini energy of the lovers. So it's quite fitting that this, in 2022, the last full moon of this year, be in Gemini. Okay. It's a time for you with this full moon to evaluate some of the things that are still lingering within your life, within your energy field, that you need to let go. It's what doesn't need to go with you in the next journey. Now, for some of you, that could be, behaviors, mindsets, certain emotions. It's a great time, full moons, for releasing work, ritualistically speaking, but also even when it comes to clearing your home of things you no longer need. Preparing for the next cycle is a really good time to do that now. It's 14:44 on my clock as I say that. So those of you who identify with that number and are, transformation, a fresh new way of living emerges. Many of us are on the cusp of a brand new, we're in a new cycle, but we're on the cusp of it manifesting in more material ways. You may feel this already. You may have felt the spiritual energy. You may feel mentally like things are new and changing and shifting, and even emotionally. And this is how energy manifests, right? It comes from the spirit through the mental and the emotional planes before it's made manifest in the physical reality. So now you're being called to get ready to receive it on a physical level. You are protected by angels, okay? You are protected. I feel like that's an important thing to know right now, especially because the attacks don't stop just because you know about them. You gain an extra sense of protection because you're healing, and you're becoming more knowledgeable, and you're knowing how to move in that energy, but it doesn't stop. And with these full moon energies, this is when a lot of people like to do a lot of fuckery, but let it be known that you are protected, especially as you step into your power. You are strong beyond all measure. Okay, you are strong beyond all measure. Let's see. Are there any other messages that want to come out? At the bottom, we do have miracles. Expect the wondrous to emerge. We have passion and pleasure coming out too, which is savor your life. That's that energy of really tuning into the now, as well as that energy of gratitude also. Okay, and valiant courage. Take action with passion. So this is a beautiful. I'm getting solar plexus here too. Leo energy with the valiant courage here. Yes, and Scorpio energy also with this transformation card. And the Phoenix rising. I'm getting all of that. I'm getting a little bit of Piscean energy here with this miracles. Getting some Virgo energy with this protected by angels. I'm just picking this up intuitively from the energies I'm seeing here. Okay. Yes. So This is a really interesting time because for those of you who are in what we would call inner union, right? You've done the hard healing work of liberating both your masculine and your feminine from the wounded patterns and the templates of the matrix. It's a very interesting time where we're being called into the marriage of those energies within. And this is also because this full moon in Gemini is opening a very big union window. So there's been a lot of delay when it comes to divine partners coming together because of all the fuckery that's been occurring with timelines, and many of us had to awaken to the truth of everything that was happening in order to usher in the timeline of union. But now that that's actually occurring within, we're being called to balance those energies and how we actually live. So up until this point, it's felt as if we've had to be either at times in our feminine energy predominantly or our masculine energy predominantly. We're either resting or we're taking action. And now it's like we're being called to be in this place of balancing how that works for us as individuals. Now that we've done the hard healing work of not only reclaiming those energies for self, but also recovering our own divine identity and therefore knowing how to apply those energies for our own unique path. Okay, where do I want to go? I think I want to go into my Lemurian deck. I'm going to go into my Lemurian deck. Let's see what comes out. Home. Oh, that's a beautiful energy. You see her heart. Home is where the heart is, right? What I'm getting more than anything, and at the bottom of the deck we have harmonic flight. And what I'm really getting with this energy is that it's again this union window that's opening for those of you who have managed to come into union with self. Let me just take a sip of my coffee. It's this this energy of having found your way home, because like when I speak about the self-alchemical process, I always refer to it as being able to come home to oneself, home to yourself. But sometimes, and not for everyone because we all have a different journey, but for those of you who are on a divine counterpart journey, once you find the home within yourself, it's easy for that other person to recognize it in you too. And it's easy for you to recognize it in another also, meaning that sometimes our souls feel very much at home in the company of another soul. And that doesn't happen with everyone. Not everyone has that home frequency. But I feel like that's being unlocked in a bigger way right now. And not only when it comes to like romance, but even when it comes to, to soul family and opportunities to meet up with co-creators, divine co-creators, the people who are here to help you to move forward in your destiny and your divine blueprint. Like there's this very strong energy of heart connections. Like there was so much obscuring that before, even people attaching to that energy, trying to some of them trying to get like a free ascension ride, or at least they thought they could do that, or attaching to that heart energy and that heart frequency you have to tear you down and keep you from ascending. And it's like you've overcome that. You've overcome that and your heart is open. And now that your heart is open, your heart is actually, it is a stargate, You're able to put out into the planet your true frequency, and it no longer can be obscured by the fuckery of the matrix and other people's interference and shit. And because you're putting out that heart call, it's like you're calling, you've made it to home base, and now you're calling in others, if that makes sense. Because we also have this harmonic flight card, and this is the card that shows like two people or two beings. They're beautiful, amazing work here, like two beings that are, it's such a divine meeting of souls. And And there's a transmission that takes place divinely because of these two coming together. And again, this can be, you know, divine partners, or what the world likes to call twin flames, but it doesn't have to be that. It's not always romantic, you know. So I'm going to read this. It says, this powerful image represents the divine we see when we look deeply into the eyes of another and our armor drops. When we meet another being present in the moment with no stories, judgments, or insecurities. Yeah, it's that energy of that person that you can be comfortable enough to open your heart with, and they feel like home. This is what is opening up. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. Where do I want to go? I'm going to go into the Soul's Journey deck because I want to find out some of the things we're being challenged to look at right now, whether it's within ourselves, within our environments. What's going on? What are we being asked to take a look at as these new opportunities open up? What are we being asked to take a look at? Let's start off with what we're being asked to look at within our own selves, within our own realities. And then we'll look at externally the energies that we're being asked to pay attention to. So let's look first internally. What are some of the things we're being asked to take a look at? So we have grief. That's sacral chakra energy, grief. Understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So many of us are in this season of having to, or you know, we're leaving a very long season of having to walk away from things that were no longer in alignment. And just because things are in alignment with our truth, or even when people do fucked up things to us, right, and we have to move away from them, it doesn't mean that there's not grief that comes up. Because whenever we move away or we leave something that our hearts have been attached to, for better or for worse, there is a process of having to let that go. But we're being called to see where it's time to really release. You can't take the grief into the new cycle. The grief is a part of the letting go. The grief can always also be, for some of us, the grief we feel at the things that have been lost, the opportunities that have been lost, the time, quote unquote, that has been lost because of all of these cycles and the interference and all of the stuff, the shenanigans we've had to deal with. But now it's time to let it go. You know, there is fear surrounding the letting go of certain things. We've got the fear at the bottom of the deck. I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. And a lot of the fear I feel that a lot of us are dealing with right now, and I've been writing about it in the Daily Alchemy members portal. For those of you who are not aware, I do a daily channeled writing through a membership program, and you're welcome to join if you'd like. It's through Instagram, and there's information on my site. But I've been talking about this, back to this, I've been talking about this because it's like many of us, because of these cycles, it's like we have post-traumatic stress, and there's a fear of moving towards the new in case it's like a booby trap. 555 on my clock, it's 14:55, 555. In case it's a booby trap, and it's like we're being told, nope, let go. And even with the cards that came out, I already put them away, but from the Sacred Traveler's Journey of taking valiant courage and tuning into passion and pleasure and realizing that we're protected and it's safe to go forward. This is kind of the energy I'm getting. It's like you don't have to hold on anymore to what aggrieved you, what aggrieved our souls. We don't have to take that into the next cycle. We don't have to move forward with trepidation or fear. We can move forward with passion, with pleasure, with excitement for what is to come, because there's a lot of beauty on the horizon for many of us, specifically if you've done the work. So don't let the past taunt you, or these old energies that want to come in and, you know, attack your mind and your emotions don't, especially your emotions with this orange. This is sacral chakra. This is like the grief attaching to you, so you're not able to bring forth things that are in alignment with joy and with your divine truth. And then the fear again is lower chakra, especially solar plexus. Don't allow these things to cut, especially like what you're seeing in the 3D right now with the sacral and the solar plexus, because this is about lower chakra. This is about earthly, physical energies. Don't allow what you're seeing right now to distract you from what you know is real, from what you're intuiting. Your new cycle is here, but it's going to come in sooner as you know and you trust this and you commit your heart to having returned home to self and moving forward into this new cycle. Yes. The other card that wanted to make itself known in a very big way was abundance. It didn't come out, but I saw it there too. So yeah, it's a time to really hone in on your own frequency of abundance. You are abundant. Abundance isn't what the 3D or the matrix system ever told you it was. You are the wealth of this world. You always have been the wealth of this world. And if you don't know that, it's time that you learn that and you live like you are, because this whole planet has been sustained off of the energy of light beings. That's the truth. That's the true currency, really. Okay, so let's see externally what you're being asked. Yeah, so we have freedom. Freedom. So a lot of us have been in situations where we felt stuck. And there was a point of that at the bottom of the deck, adversity. There was a point to all of that, even if it came about through like sinister circumstances. The point of it was to help us to see how we weren't free on other planes, in order for us to do the work, in order for us to wake up and recognize who we are. But once that adversity has taught us the lesson and has given us the freedom, then it's up to us to walk into it, right? So this energy is coming up like the tighter you feel like you're being squeezed, the closer you are to the other side, believe it or not. But we can prolong that by not knowing this, right? So that whole, you know, that statement that it's always darkest before dawn, it is. You're always squeezed the tightest before the grand release. So know this, okay? Let's see, are there any other external energies that we're being asked to pay attention to? Courage. Courage. And courage is going to come up because there's going to be a reason why you have to be courageous, right? So things might be coming from every side. You know, there's storms within and without. But take courage. Take courage and find your own inner balance. Find the peace that resides within yourself. Your peace is a birthright. No matter what you're going through as a divine being, peace is your birthright. And when you move out of that state, you just have to ask to be reinstated. That's all, because it's your birthright. You ask the divine. And even, you know, like don't believe in organized religion, but I was a Christian, and I've read the Bible from cover to cover, and a verse that's coming to mind right now is when you pray and you ask, God will give you the peace that surpasses all understanding, meaning it's a peace that you have within that doesn't make sense given what it is you're going through, and yet it's still there, because ultimately, your vessel that you're living in right now is your home. It is your home. And if you can get your home, your vessel, to be in a state of peace and balance, then everything beautiful that is rightfully yours is going to come ushering in, because you would have placed yourself, your home, you would have placed yourself in your own home frequency to receive what is yours. Yes? Let's see, what else? I'm going to go into my guidance deck and see if there's anything here. Yeah, I want to wrap this reading up. I don't want it to be too much longer. Let's see. Any guidance, guidance, guidance. Further guidance, please. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, we do have connect with your house spirits, which is very interesting because we did have this energy come out of home, right? And then what was the other one we had come out? Yeah, when I was telling you, when the traveling lightly card came out, here it is. The traveling lightly card came out here, and I was saying it's time to clear certain energies, possibly physically within your own home environment. There's something right now, very clear message coming through about your home frequency. And again, I'm going to reiterate that it's to do with your own vessel, finding that energy of peace within, and then creating that energy of peace without. So getting rid of the things that you don't need, you know, clearing and cleansing and creating your own little environment to reflect the energy that you want to usher more of in right now. For those of you who haven't connected, connect with your house spirits. Your house, your home is alive. It's alive. It's alive because it's rooted into the earth, you know, and it has, there are guardian spirits that surround whatever land you're on, you know, whatever property you're on, regardless as to what human beings have done, those spirits don't leave. So give them reverence. And the ones that exist within your home, you know, your house spirits can be wonderful allies if you are recognizing them. And the way you recognize them is just, you can speak to them, you know, you can thank them. You can, when you are making decisions to do things spiritually, you can make sure that it's in alignment with the spirits that are within your home. You can light a candle and leave a glass of water. You can have your own special space for them. Like, you intuitively connect the way you feel led to, but connect with your house spirits because they're here to be your allies. They can actually be really wonderful for helping you to maintain a sense of peace within your home. And when we don't connect with them, or we don't give them what it is that they need, sometimes they can be, you know, they can wow out too, you know. So connect with your house spirits. So what actually came out for you is what other people think about you is not your business. What do you think about you? So in this time, as you move forward and you're making decisions, and you are stepping deeper into the truth of who you are owning your own home frequency, and you're calling in opportunities and situations and people that match that home frequency. It doesn't matter what other people think about you, especially the people you've left behind. It's not, their thoughts, their opinions should have no real input into what it is you're building or who it is you are, because if up until this point it hasn't assisted you in rising and in becoming better outside of pain and shame and all that other shit and trauma, then it doesn't have a place in your mind when you are moving forward. So be focused on what you think about you. It doesn't matter right now what anyone else thinks. It never really does at the end of the day. Be very one-track minded as you move forward right now. What is it that you think about yourself as you move forward, as you make decisions, as you choose certain people to be in your life, as certain people and opportunities come towards you? What is it that you think? Forget they. It's all about you right now, okay? Uncrossing work is necessary, yeah. And the message that's coming up here is the uncrossing work is necessary because of these outward voices that still in some ways maybe don't dominate your energy, but at times they overpower your truth, your own voice rather. They overpower your own voice. So uncrossing work is necessary because when that happens, what it actually is it is an attack against your own mental and emotional energy. And as such, it has to be removed and eradicated. And some of this stuff is it's things that we've done to ourselves at this point. It may have been something that originally came from another person, you know, a certain thought and an accompanying feeling that we have with that thought, you know, like maybe like, oh, I'll never amount to this, or I'll never be able to do that. That might have been a thought that was sown in you by someone else, and then the accompanying feelings of despair and shame and all of that other stuff. Those were the feelings that came that allowed for that very reality to be manifested. But at a certain point, it was you, or it was me, beginning to believe that gave it its power. And at a certain point, people don't need to say that to us anymore, because it's become a part of our belief system. So there are many ways that we cross ourselves because we hold on to thoughts and feelings that never were ours to begin with, and definitely have no place in our divine truth. So it's time to do some uncrossing work. There's so many ways you can do that, right? It's also time to return to sender. Reversals are necessary, yes. It is a period where we are all being called energetically to take responsibility for both our creations and our miscreations. We are no longer here to be containers for other people's shit. We are not here to process other people's trauma. We are not here to hold on to their grief, to their pain, to their lack, to their misfortune, to anything. You know, because oftentimes light beings were given the brunt of these energies because unconsciously and sometimes consciously it is known that we are transmuters. You are not here at this time anymore to transmute shit for anyone, not for anyone. You know, and especially not collectively. So clear yourself of that. Return to sender. It's time for everyone now to take responsibility for their own energies, for their own emotions, for their own thoughts. It's not for you to hold on to that anymore, because when you hold on to other people's shit, you as a divine being, because you have the ability to create, you do it even more powerfully than other people. In other words, you are able to take someone's grief and manifest like great grief for self. So know this about yourself. Know your power so you can stop taking on other people's energies and then creating misery for self. Give it back to them. Return to sender, especially during this full moon. Full moons are always times of great emotion. There's a lot that's being exposed right now with the solar weather. There's a lot that's coming up for people to deal with as we come to the end of the year. A lot of relationships, fake relationships, false love. All of this stuff is coming down, especially with Neptune going direct, right? So it's time for you to allow people to deal with their own stuff emotionally and mentally, and physically and spiritually, because that is part of their journey. Anything once upon a time that may have been part of your learning in order to wake up and ascend and know who you are, but that's not where you're going anymore. So let go of all of this shit that doesn't belong to you. Okay? I'm not going to take out a herb, but I will say that my deck is split. And right here I have hyssop, which is all about uncrossing and cleansing and purifying and removing malefic energies. It's like a sanctification and a preparation. It's a herb for even consecrating magical tools, you know, or spiritual tools. It's the herb that in Psalm 51, David cried out to God and asked God to cleanse him with hyssop after what, you know, his after what he did with Bathsheba and the soldier Uriah. You know, in order to repent, he asked God to cleanse him with hyssop, right? So hyssop is a very powerful uncrossing herb, a very powerful herb for cleansing and purification. Some of you might want to look into getting some. Hyssop baths are great. You can drink hyssop in tea, you know. It's not, I would mix it with something else for the flavor. It doesn't taste bad, but it just tastes better when it's with a more aromatic herb. Yeah, you can burn hyssop too. You can use it in a floor wash, also speaking about like house spirits and clearing home. So yeah, hyssop. Okay, so that's what I have for you. If any of you want a one-to-one consultation specifically about working with some of these energies in your own realities right now, that's what I'm here for. You can find me on Solara with an h.info. My website information will be down below, as well as my email. So I hope that this reading was helpful and insightful. It's been a pleasure reading for you as always, and until next time, be well.